From the National Review, Secret Service found marijuana twice at the White House in 2022. Okay.
I mean, does that bother?
Come on.
It's legal there, right? Well, not inside a federal building.
No, but like, at what point do we say, come on?
It depends on if it was like edibles or if it was.
No. Just Phil. We know. I think we get it. All right. Someone just needs to, Joe. Can you ask your son just maybe?
No,
like if he's gonna smoke pot, you know, if it's gonna be him, like, can he just clean it up and just not get caught doing it?
I really don't think that Hunter Biden is smoking much weed personally. I really think that it's amphetamines. I think that it's cocaine.
Maybe, but I mean, if he was getting off of that stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if he was like, well, this one's not so bad.
Sometimes
it's also funnier than maybe Joe's just not senile and old. Maybe he's just super stoned all the time. That's actually a way funnier story.
No, because if that was the case, then he would have actually descheduled it like he said he was going to do, instead of just waving it off and it never happened.
First thing he does in office is make it legal so that he can have it right there in the office.
I mean, the executive order is the way I would have rolled as president. Like, Hunter, you're free, baby.
I think they're trying to plant it on Biden, and he just keeps leaving it in random places. Right? So they're like, we got to get him out. There's no chance in 24. So they keep getting all these different drugs, hoping that Secret Service will find it on him. But Biden's just not with it. So he just keeps leaving it places like outside the Situation Room. And they're like, we really don't know who it belongs to because it's Joe's.
Hunter gets it
for him. Coffee thing here, right? Maybe you get Joe your coffee and he'll wake up.
I just got to say, our coffee is the best coffee. Well, trust me, Appalachian Nights, the best coffee. Everyone agrees.
If Joe had that coffee right now, the country would be in a way better place.
Way better.
Way better.
Afghanistan would have been flawless.
Maybe that's the commercial we do. We have you see Joe Biden, but like only from behind, and he's like stumbling, and we show all the clips of him stumbling, falling, and then it's like people in suits being like, quick, and they pull up a bag of Casper Coffee, and then you just see Biden stumble in, and there's like a camera shaking, and he grabs the coffee, sips it, and then all of a sudden stands up right, and he's like, I'm ready, man.
Fixes him right
up.
Perfect.
Yeah,
I think you should.
Or we can do one where someone keeps Ian travels back in time and keeps pouring a glass of Casper Coffee for Joe right before these major moments, and then everything just goes right. It's like preparing for the Afghan withdrawal, and then Ian's just like pouring the cup of coffee, and he slides it out there, saving the world one cup of Casper at a time.
Right before the debates.
In all seriousness, though, I don't really care for pot. I'm not a fan of it. I think it's very bad for people. I think a lot of people are like, it's no big deal. It should be legal and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, okay, I'm fairly libertarian on stuff. I don't care what you do with your life. But I think weed is pretty bad for you. I think to all the people I knew growing up, and, the ones that were smoking pot all the time did not do nearly as well as the ones who did not. And so, whatever. I think that's why you say, actually, South Park said it the best. Randy Marsh said, son, it's not that it's going to kill you or do anything to you. It's that it makes you okay with being bored. And then when you're older, you'll find you're not good at anything. So that's a reason why you shouldn't do it. It's like, oh, okay, thanks, Dad. But that being said, it is not legally allowed in the White House. And there is a drug problem in the White House right now. I have questions. We talk about a 2 or 3 tier justice system. Come on, man. Come on.
There's at least 3 tiers. There's the broke and the not broke, right? And then you can talk about whether Trump's on a different level than Biden or whatever. But yeah, I'm not included in any of that. And I'm supposed to have white privilege, right? So they'll throw my ass in jail quick.
I think it's a major problem. Like, it's one thing to do drugs and know about it in the White House. It's another thing to constantly leave them everywhere. They're not very good at
Nixon didn't leave his shit all over the place.
Yeah.
At least clean up after yourself.
There's no cameras in the White House apparently either.
Yeah, right.
The Secret Service said, we couldn't figure out whose cocaine that was. So
I was surprised to hear that, considering all the cameras I see in every federal building I ever worked in.
I wasn't surprised to hear it. It's the Bidens. The Secret Service was like, ugh. Ben Shapiro pointed this out, that the Secret Service reportedly went to the gun shop where Hunter bought his gun and that was illegally disposed of, and tried to collect records, seemingly to protect the Bidens from criminal prosecution.
Now, I got to tell you, as a libertarian, that's the most base thing I ever heard, right? Hunter being charged with marijuana and a gun charge. Yeah. Second Amendment, that's dope, right?
I got to say, I don't think Hunter Biden should be charged for owning a weapon. There's a fair argument through due process. You can have your rights curtailed. That's what prison literally is. And if you are found to be a drug user, and we've determined that to be like, hey, through due process, we've determined you do not have this right. I think there's questions about whether that should be laws or not. That because someone smoked pot one time, they can't have a gun anymore. I don't think that's fair. Because Hunter had done hard drugs, he's ineligible. Because someone was convicted of a felony, they get out, now they can't get a gun. Some people have argued, well, that's due process. And I'm like, it's got to be shorter than that. Your right to vote, your right to keep and bear arms. We shouldn't sentence you to life for it. That being said, Hunter shouldn't be charged, in my opinion, for just buying a gun.
Oh, for no reason.
But disposing of it in a trash can outside of a school, yeah, okay, maybe we got something there.
Well, he's obviously guilty of something if that's what you're doing. Because I don't throw guns in...
Well, but it was his wife, I think. His wife did it.
Oh, okay.
So, right.
Did she do it or did she go and get it?
Did she go? No. It was a trash collector who found it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was Hunter's wife. Was it? It might have been wife.
I don't know. Was he ever married? I know he was sleeping with his brother's wife.
Oh God! When you
That's
start
such
talking,
a weird story.
It's just so gross. Like all
Okay. It's lover. They say lover. It was his brother's ex that he started hooking up with.
Haley or whatever her name is.
Yeah,
right?
that's right. It is. It's kind of weird though, because they have the same last name now because she married his brother. It's kind of a weird thing,
All the greatest stuff that when Hollywood ends up making movies about that family will be about Hunter and have nothing to do with Joe at all. All the great entertainment will come out of Hunter.
Can we do
Joe's done nothing.
No.
He was perfect dad, apparently.
Oof. Can we do a Game of Thrones show with the Bidens?
Yes.
Oh my God, it was beautiful.
It'd be compelling, you got an episode where Hunter's just coked out of his mind, and then it shows him get up, and then he straightens his jacket and the bag falls on the ground, and then some tourist walks by and sees it and goes, and then the Secret Service is like, uh-oh.
And then
It'd probably run like The Sopranos on HBO.
No, or they make it like House of Cards with Joe Biden, but it just all keeps happening by accident. Nothing actually works out. It's just people are picking up behind him.
It all keeps happening on accident and accidentally working out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's accidental House of Cards with Joe Biden.
Biden trips up the stairs and then drops some item which bounces, and then a marble bounces and then hits a button causing a conveyor belt and
Saves the world.
All these really weird things happen. He's sitting in the Situation Room, and they're like, quick, we need a response from you now, Mr. President. He falls asleep, and then his face hits the keyboard, and it sends the perfect message, or just, it says yes, and they're like, yes, and then he averts the crisis, things like that.
And they can get Kevin Spacey to play him, because he's a great guy, too.
Ew.
Yeah, no, he'd be perfect for Biden, with all the sniffing, you know what I mean?
I think he's done more than sniffing.
Kevin Spacey's on trial right now in the UK
More than
for very,
sniffing.
very bad things.
Very bad.
He pulled his own version of the I'm not a pervert, I'm Italian. He had one where he's like, I'm a flirt with he got accused of horrible stuff.
Innocent until proven guilty, but I'm not giving the guy the benefit of the doubt. No. We'll see how it goes.
I'm a flirt.
Yeah.
Also a rapist.
Yes. He's like, well, after all the initial claims came out, he's like, look, I'm gay.
Yeah.
And we're like, what the hell
everything.
does that have to do with any of this?
Well, now it's probably a good defense. Had he come out with it now, this month,
I mean,
people would have said, oh, okay, you're good. Right?
It should have worked even then.
He'd be like, I'm Q.
Yeah.
I think maybe he'll work in these arguments where he's like, he can show pride events and the behaviors that people do that are considered normal and say, these things that I was doing were perfectly in line with what they all do all day, every day at these events. Nobody cares about it. Why am I all of a sudden being targeted for it?
We do live in hell.
Yes.
That might be an argument. He goes, I don't know. But I did hear that he was crying or something.
Yeah.
Not sure that I care all that much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to throw the guy, a safety net or anything, but I mean, I remember a time when I was snowboarding in Colorado, and if you pulled over on the side of the road to go to the bathroom and you got caught, you got a sex charge, right? You could get get on the sex registry. And now, I mean, if you're a Q, you can just go piss all over the whole country and you can get away with it. It's just not. I don't see where all of a sudden everything is okay.
Yeah.
So I find it confusing.
It's because all the stuff it's like when we were talking about the pride flag, everything is about being oppressed. All these groups, the one thing they have in common is they feel they're oppressed. And that's why it's like it's these degenerate acts that we think of them as degenerate, but then it's like we're not allowed to do them. We don't have their right. So we need to stand up for those people that don't have the rights to do all this gross behavior. And that's what we're seeing. And it's completely backwards, clown world, you know.
It definitely is. But that, I mean, what you point out about how there's so many people that have a perspective where they're basing everything on that they're the victim of something. That's something that's from the Marxist playbook. The whole point is power dynamics. The whole point is the person with power is oppressing the person without power. And all you have to be able to do is make a compelling argument that you feel oppressed, and everybody is expected to consent to your
lived experience,
to your lived experience, your worldview. And you can't have a society that works like that, because then the incentive is to be oppressed and to tell everybody about it. And we see the results in society. People are afraid to speak their mind. People are afraid to say things that they believe. People are afraid. And they're not afraid because they have outlandish ideas. They're afraid because the people with the outlandish ideas are also the ones that will make a stink and get people fired or bring you to the HR department or whatever. People that are unhappy with their lives. And it's all because of that, the teaching people to look at the world through the dynamic of oppressor and oppressed, and to understand, and teaching them that the position of oppressed is actually a position of power.
Yeah.
So, did you want to add a point to that?
I was just going to say Obama's campaign was, yes, we can. And it's like, no, we can't because of this group or because of this thing. And it's like 2008.
That's a fantastic plan for the next presidential campaign. No, we can't.
No, you can't.
No, we can't.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.